Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Martin, and today I want to talk to you guys about the new interactive map that Transport Canada put out for you to fly a drone. They actually have a map, so if you don't know where to fly a drone safely, when you're not supposed to fly and when you can fly, there's a map for that. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the map, how it works, and the details of it, so you understand what you're looking at, and you can go and fly a drone safely from there. So before we get started, there's a few things you should know. The places to fly and not fly a drone, that only applies for drones that are heavier than 250 grams. So if you have a little toy drone that's lighter than that, you can pretty much fly anywhere because it's not really a danger. Although I still don't recommend you go on an airport and fly it. But if you happen to be in a zone, the Transport Canada does not have any regulations for any drones lighter than 250 kilograms. So you just grab your drone, fully loaded, you put it on a scale, and you get to see what it is. If it's below that, it's great. Now, if it's above 250 grams, you actually have to register your drone. It doesn't matter what you use it for, you have to register it, and you have to get a test. So there's two tests out there. A basic test, that's if you just want to fly a drone for fun, recreationally or just for your own purpose. You can do a basic test, and with this, it allows you to fly in a lot of places, but not everywhere. And the second one is a advanced operations certificate. So what this one does, it allows you to fly a lot more places. So you're probably gonna get this one if you're gonna do professional work with a drone, or maybe you're doing drone for yourself in an area that usually wouldn't allow drones to fly. So that's the two different licensing you have to get for your drones if they're above 250 grams, and you also have to register your drones, all of them. So if you're gonna fly it, you have to register it. So what I'm gonna do in the map, I'm gonna show you what it's like to fly when you're flying just for yourself for fun under the basic operations, and under the, I'm going to talk about the advanced operations. So let's go ahead here, open up a browser and go to the website. So it's very simple. The website is called nrc.canada.ca/drone-tool. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but the link is just below. So if you just click on it, it'll take you right there. So here we are. It'll come up. It's a very simple website. You have the map of Canada that pops up, and you have all different areas and zones where you can fly or not fly a drone. So just as a glance here, you can see the spaces with no anything highlighted. You can fly there. As soon as you have something that's highlighted, like here, that means I'll go over what all that means. So let's zoom in a little bit. So I live in Edmonton, so I will zoom in into the Edmonton sector. Right there. Perfect. And so now in Edmonton, unbeknownst to us, is that there's a lot of airspace here. So before I get into too much details on the little circles and what they do and the colors and the meaning, I'm going to go over on the side a little bit and go over the legend they have here. So if you open up the first one, the overview, it actually breaks it down for you. So if you want to know which one is which, everything lined up on the side is actually lined up right here. So the first one is the little controller, the game controller. It's an interesting thing that shows for flying a drone. And that's where you get to specify whether you're gonna fly for fun or if you're gonna fly under advanced operations. So either basic or advanced, right? The one below this tab is a search. So if you wanna look up the city you're in, you click on there, punch in a name, and it actually pop up your city with all the details. The one I'm interested in is the one with the where you can choose the layers of the map, because what we're going to do is we're going to change it to be able to change over the view we have. So what I want to show you is the satellite view. So now you get to see the actual city and where the zones are. So now let's dig into it. Let's go over the zones. There's three colors out there that they have for basic operations. You have a red, you have an orange, and you have a yellow. The difference between all of this is the airspace that they're in. So let's go over the easiest one. Before I go on here, there's a whole bunch of empty space. That means you can fly there. There's not a problem to fly there. But I do recommend that you be careful where you fly, because you want to be flying over someone's property and annoy them that way. So find a nice open space that you can fly. There's more to the drone rules than just the map about the distance you have to fly from people and all this. I'm not going to go over that in this video, but I'm going to go over this. I'll do another video with those rules. So here we go. So the yellow circles indicate an area where there's an airport or a helipad or landing strip that is not controlled, which means you have a landing strip or helipad, but there's no tower, there's no communication. People take off and land, and all they do is look around, see if there's any traffic. So what they want you to do on the yellow one, if you click on it, it actually breaks it down. It'll say drone operations are permitted within the 1 nautical mile zone indicated by the yellow filled circle. Caution is advised, however, due to the potential helicopter traffic, operations when other aircraft are present are strongly discouraged. So what they're saying is that so you're flying in an area that's yellow and there's a helicopter, an airplane, anything, is that they recommend you land and let the traffic go through before you take off again, because the rule states that manned aircraft have authority over unmanned aircraft. So if you see a helicopter, you have to land for safety reasons, right? So now if you click on it, it actually has a breakdown on what it is, and you can say, what does this mean? And you can actually go into very specific details on the different regulations and everything. Oh, so that shifted. Let me just recenter the map here. Perfect. So now this is a yellow area. So as you can see, you have different shapes. So usually how it works. The smaller ones are 1 nautical mile. That's for a helipad. And the big ones are usually 3 nautical miles, and those are for the airports. So that's the two different things. So you're not allowed to fly a drone close to 1 nautical mile of an helipad, and you're not allowed to fly a drone 3 nautical miles from airport. Now, when the different colors is what really dictates whether you can fly there or not. So the yellow ones means you can fly there, just be careful, look around, listen, and make sure there's no actual traffic of helicopters, airplanes, or anything. And then you must land if there is. So that's the yellow one. So it's pretty basic compared to any other place. Now let's go over to the orange one. The orange one is different. So here we have a national park, Elk National Park. And orange means you actually need permission to fly there. So let's click on here. And it says basic drone operations require permission to operate here. See details below. So you can click on the details and actually give you a little bit of contact information on what to do there. So all it means that if you want to fly a drone there, you have to reach the authorities that look after the park and talk to them about flying a drone there. And then they'll tell you whether you can or can't, or if you can with restrictions. They're the one that dictates all this. So this is the orange one. The orange is usually the parks. And then now we're going to go to the red one. The red one is a no-fly zone for drones. So for example, we have here a heliport. If you click on it, it will tell you basic drone operations are not permitted within the 1 nautical mile zone indicated by the red filled circle. So it means you cannot fly a drone in that area. So if you look, Edmonton has a few spots here. They're mostly hospitals. And now there's an interesting part with Edmonton is that on the north side of the city, as you see, there's lots of houses here, but there is a military base. So this airport is not just any airport, it's also a military airport. So it's a double no in flying a drone there, because that would be a lot of trouble for you. If you look down here, there is a really big circle. The big ones means that this is a controlled airspace, which means that's where there's an actual tower that controls the airspace of that airport. So in this map here, we can see two of them. We have the Edmonton International Airport and we have the Villeneuve Airport. Both have towers and both have radios, towers that communicate with the airplanes. So usually you need a transponder when you fly an aircraft in those zones, and they get to direct the traffic. So if you want to land there with an airplane or a helicopter, they will direct you. So for that reason, planes and helicopters tend to fly really low there before they land. Therefore, they don't want you to fly a drone there if you're gonna fly for fun. Now there's the last one, is that there's some long ones here, as you can see. So the long ones is very simple. It's just an airstrip, just maybe made of dirt, maybe paved. It's just an airstrip, and the reason they made it long is because it has to give room for planes to come low, land, and then take off again. So in those areas, that's when you have to look out. So if you're any of these zones, it means planes and helicopters will be flying a lot lower than usual to come to land. That's what they mean. So they're usually yellow. If there were any more than just an airstrip, they would become an aerodrome, and then they would have an actual no-fly zone around it. So this is it. This is for basic operation. And there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is most people, when they buy a drone, they actually gonna go to their backyard, unpack the drone, and take off and fly it a bit just to get the experience, just to see what it's like to fly the drone. So what I want to show you guys is that most people don't know is that where they live, they might not be allowed to fly a drone there, and even if it's their backyard. For example, let's zoom into this. This one is a Greenlands hospital. Okay, so there's lots of neighborhoods in that area, and anybody in that area not aware of may not be aware there's a helipad here. And if they want to just fly a drone and just go in their backyard to fly it, they might actually be in the way of a helicopter going to or from the hospital. Now, usually in a hospital, if a helicopter flies around, it's because it's usually emergency related. That's the way I look at it anyways. So in this area, you cannot fly your drone for fun. And therefore, you have to find another place to go fly. Very simple. So let's zoom out of here. And now, let's go back to a good view. So as you can see, there's lots of places here in Edmonton that you won't be able to fly. The south part of Edmonton, the different spots throughout Edmonton here, and the north part of Edmonton, right? So let's see if you want to fly for fun. Now, if you're actually going to go through and get your advanced operator certificate, which is a bit more of a challenge, the first one is, I think it's 30 questions in 3 hours. Very simple. You probably don't have to study too much for it. Just review what the rules are and then take the test and you'll be good to go. The second one, the advanced one, now you need to actually take a course or go to school so you can learn about the aviation and learn about drone operations, because when you take that test, you got 50 questions in 1 hour to be completed, and you actually have to do a flight test. Someone's going to review how you fly your drone, so you're going to need some experience behind that. So let's go ahead and switch it over to advanced operations so you can see the difference. So all it does in advanced operations is you see all the red spots on the screen, they're not orange. So what it does is with an advanced operations, you can now fly in those areas, but there's a catch. It's not yellow, it's orange. Therefore, it means you still need permission to fly there. So let's say we take here on the south side of Edmonton, we'll take the airport. We click on it and it says Class C controlled zone airspace. Advanced RPAS, which is drones, operations are only permitted within the zone indicated by the orange field's shape with the permission from the airspace operating authority. So let me put that simpler, because that was a mouthful for me, is that you have to contact whoever's in charge of that airspace and ask them for authorization to fly your drone there. If that's what you want to do, you actually get your what is it called, your advanced operation license. You actually go to NAV Canada and they have a way for you to submit your flight request application. So like that, it's mainstream, it's very easy to do, and then they can really look at what your intent are with your drone. Very simple. We'll also have the site posted below. So if you want to do advanced operations, this is another place to look. So as you can see now, there's no red spots, and except for this, now it's red. It says advanced drone operations require permission to operate. Okay, it's orange with a red outline. Okay, it's unusual. Now this one here, the north of Edmonton, there's this one, and this is the heliport of the military base. So same thing, this one you can still fly there, but you need authorization from the army base to fly there. But yeah, this is very simple. I recommend every time you go fly a drone for fun, pop on the internet, open up the site and have a look on where you're gonna fly, just to make sure you're good to go. Because it's not fun to pack up your gear, go somewhere with your buddies and go fly a drone only to find out you can't fly there. That ruins the whole thing. Another good benefit is that most drone manufacturers, they actually have their drone equipped with GPS, obviously, but it will tell you whether you're flying in a zone you shouldn't be flying or not. Most manufacturers, usually the fancier the drone, the more tech is in it for this kind of stuff. The simpler the drone, maybe not as sophisticated, but that's what I recommend you do. Go onto this website, check it out, study it, and then make sure you know which one is which for changing from basic to advanced or advanced to basic, depending on what kind of flight you want to do. And if you have any comments or anything you want to add to this, please post them below and I will answer all the questions. If you want to know more about drones, do subscribe, and then I will post more videos on different things about drones. So this is it with this interactive map so far. I hope you guys got to learn quite a few things, and I'll see you next time.